Okay. Hello, Miss Pagati. How are you today?
I'm awesome. How are you, Mr. Zwane?
I'm feeling great. Welcome to Wisdom Revelation channel. This is a channel where we'll be talking about wisdom and the revelation regarding to our specific topic on how do we build our children's character. But before I continue, Ms. Pagati, can you tell us briefly about who you are and the services that you are providing?
Thank you so much, Mr. Zwane, and for the invitation. I truly appreciate it. My name is Cleopatra Pagati. I am a speaker. I am an author. I write children's books. I have recently written a book which is not for children called Redeeming the Time. But my purpose really or my passion rather is still with children and young people. And I think because they are still just so pure and so vulnerable, I feel, so passionate about them because like I will be going into much detail in terms of what building my character is based upon.
Mm.
I believe that when we catch them young, then we get to build a healthy society. So basically, that is who I am.
Thank you, Ms. Pagati. Ms. Pagati, okay, our topic is very interesting about children. I have love for children too. Now, we are saying in Zulu, "Ligotsha lisasemanzi," but we say something also in your language. Okay, Ms. Alimezi, that's right. Now, on this
Yes.
topic, building our children's character, where can one start?
That's an interesting one. So, where one starts is really understanding what is character
Mhm.
for that matter. Because as children, children, we have gifts, we have talents, we have all those things, but there's this specific aspect called character that is sort of it's actually an aggregate of our traits. So our personality traits are summed up as character. So I start by making kids understand that character is in it starts by their thoughts, it goes into their feelings,
Mhm.
and results into their behavior. So it's just in like laying it down to kids. What is character? It's the way that I think, it's the way that I feel. And as a result, it's the way that I behave. Because I think we usually want to focus on how children behave, or the things that they do, their actions, instead of tracing it back to their feelings and their thoughts.
Okay, okay. Maybe can you just highlight to
Yes.
us the process that one can follow? Uh, how should I really follow a certain process to really develop it?
So look, developing your character is a daily, it's a daily activity. I would say it's something that you do daily.
Mhm.
It's something that you need to be intentional about. So I always say it starts by asking yourself, who am I as a person? Once I understand who I am, then I understand how I am acting, or I'm supposed to be acting. Because
Mm,
if how I am acting or responding or showing up in the world is not aligned to who I am,
mm,
then there is a disjuncture there. It speaks to traits of character, be it integrity or whatever. So one must always understand who they are.
mm, mm,
And once you understand who you are, you understand what is it that makes you happy, what is it that you're passionate about, what is it that triggers you, whether in a positive or a negative way. And what is it that make you feel sad? What is it that make you feel happy? What is it? So it basically just starts by understanding you as a person, your identity, who are you, what image or likeness are you made in, and then what are you likely to portray? What should you be portraying as a person? So you then, once you build awareness or develop awareness of who you are, you sort of become conscious and intentional, about how you then develop your character, I would say. Because if you know that I want to be this person that is truthful, that is honest, that is reliable, then it means every day you become conscious, of your actions. When you are about to tell a friend a lie, even if it's a white lie, there must be something that you have told yourself about yourself that has to remind you that, but no, remember, that is not who you are. You don't lie. You're not a liar. So you then have to quickly change that or ask for forgiveness or something, but you daily develop it. It's I think even as adults, we are constantly developing our characters. We are constantly becoming and learning certain things, learning new things, and wanting to become better versions of ourselves.
Oh, great, great. Okay, what I want to find out now, at what age, can we really teach our kids to know who they are? Because I think our kids right now, they are so vulnerable because they are trying to check which personality they can take between mom and dad, and they're trying to adjust.
Yes.
But then how can you really figure out to really help them to know who they are at a younger age?
Yes, thank you for that, Mr. Zwan. So look, I'm sure psychologists would give, specific answers. I will just give an answer based on my experience and what I'm learning as a parent.
Yes.
Is that you need to understand your children, know your children, because I think once you know your children, you get cues from them and you get to know what are they ready for, what particular milestone, if that is making sense. So when I look at my 14-year-old is quite fast. He's very smart. He's so gifted. So I had to start as early as I could to start, talking to him about character issues, who he is, and so forth. So I can't exactly say, as soon as a child is 7 years old and whatever, because kids develop differently. So you may find that other kids you have to start them younger, others you wait. So I think I would definitely say take cues from your children, because they also somehow, because remember, we all learning in this journey, in the parenting journey, in the coaching journey, and so forth. So you take cues from each other, so you can tell when your child is ready to have, those conversations and so forth. You can tell in the behaviors that they're displaying or the questions that they're asking and so forth. So I would definitely say take cues from your child, or even you as a parent, you know your child better. You are there with them from day zero. So you are in a better position or better space to know that now I need to start having those conversations, or now, so yeah.
Okay. Is it important to
Yes.
have family, let me say family values, in terms of, in our family, we don't lie, we integrity, honesty is very important, generosity, empathy, compassion, and so forth, peacefulness, faith. So is it important maybe as a family to first have that foundation to say, as a family, these are the values that every member should be abide by, and then And then when those values have been established as a family, then we try to teach our kids. Is it important to have that structure in place?
I absolutely, Mr. Zwane, it's very important. I think you've just hit it. You've just hit it on the nail, because, you know, as we were talking earlier, to say children these days are so smart. They are smarter, you know, because they are exposed to so much information out there and so forth. So it's really important to have integrity as parents and, you know, as a family. My 14-year-old did that example for me the other time. He told me that, but this friend of his said 1, 2, 3 to his mom, and I said, but that's not how we do it in this house. That is not, you know, what we believe in this house. This is 1, 2, 3, that what we believe in, and that is basically what building my character is built upon. Even the Bible gives you the fruits of the Spirit, and that is what I refer to as building blocks of character: peace, love, kindness, gentleness, long
Yes.
suffering. It's important, and as a family, not just to have them as values that you say that these are our values, but to really, you know, display and act those values, because children are what they see. You know, they don't do what they're told to do. They do what
Yes.
they see their parents doing. So it's important for values to really flow from the top to them, because then they get to make sense of it. Because if mama says, mama cannot say 1, 2, 3 at home, and when she's on the street, I hear her swearing or saying something to, but mama, you saw, but you're telling me that I shouldn't swear. So that is not how we raise children. We need to do, and they need to see from us the behaviors and the characteristics that we expect from them. They need to see them from us as parents, us as a family. So what you expect of the other child, you expect the same of the other child. Of course, maybe look, children develop differently, like I've said before. So how you may be treating this one, it has to be according to the personality, but the values should still be the same standard and consistent across the board.
Oh, thank you. And then maybe can you just elaborate more on this developing character? Then? What other things that as a parent I should look at in developing my kid's character?
So, you know what I'm learning, Mr. Zwane, is that children, how do I put it? So from day zero, children can't speak, right?
Yeah.
So you have to read their needs. You have to read what is it that they currently need at that particular time. Because they cannot articulate themselves. So you know that now they need to be changed, now they must be hungry, or now they're tired, they want to sleep, and so forth. And it's something that we miss as parents is that even as they grow, they don't automatically get to a stage where they can articulate their needs very clearly. It's us as parents that need to teach them to do that. And that is why you can actually have an adult that is acting out because they have not learned or mastered the art of communication or expressing their needs. So as children, I think how we can help them to develop their characters is to really read the children, read their needs, because when kids are acting out, they are sending a message, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, Mr. Zwane. We want to discipline them at that time and so forth. But if we look behind, if we really sit and reflect and trace the behavior or the action, you will realize that it is them trying to communicate something that they possibly don't know how to communicate. So kids don't automatically grow from not being able to talk to becoming communicators. No, it's a process, it's a journey, and there's somewhere there where it's very critical for parents to be able to read, you know, and you read by questioning your child. Yes, you see them behaving this way, you choose to either lash out on them and whatever, or you can actually decide to come down as a parent and really sit with your child and try to understand where are they coming from. So I think really trying to understand our children, because remember, they're trying to understand the world, they're trying to make sense of the world
Exactly.
and everything else that is happening. So we need to play that role. We are the facilitators, we're the ones that have to help them to understand the world, to make sense of things. And they won't be, they're not always readily, it's not always easy for them to say, you know, 1, 2, 3 is the problem. And because they don't know how to do that, they will display it in, you know, some behavior of some sort. So I think it's very important to pay attention to that when we building our children's characters,
Thank you, Ms. Parker.
or rather helping them to build, or rather helping them to build characters. Yes.
Great, great. Because another thing that I think I experience as a parent is my intuition. Sometimes a parent,
Yes.
there's this voice that tells you that this kid has got this talent and a gift, and she has this kind of a personality. I think also it plays a very huge role as a parent to listen to your intuition as you observe all your kids. You could be able to differentiate them according to their personalities, their gifts and talents. And
Absolutely.
yes, and another thing that I'd like to ask is now building that character to allow our kids to face now the world in terms of confidence. Uh, how can we help our children now to have that self-worth and the confidence to face the world outside, even from primary school? That is the world where they try to cope, where they try to fit in. And the lack of confidence is also the main issue. So I would like to find out what solid foundation that one can build at a younger age to allow our kids to be, you know, to stand for themselves in the outside world.
So I'm learning, Mr. Zwane, that, and you know, you will notice that I keep on emphasizing that I'm learning, because every day, you know, these human beings, they evolve every day, just like we evolve every day. And every day it's like, wow, okay, I didn't know this, now I know. But I think the most important thing, or yeah, the most important thing we can ever give our children is love. Loving them unconditionally. Children, unfortunately, as parents, we fall into the trap of dangling the carrot, you know, and the stick. Yes, we don't really hit our children these days. I don't know if there are parents that do. Some still do believe in spanking, but even if we don't spank, we've somehow been taught positive and negative reinforcement. And like I said again, kids don't really know how to process this negative reinforcement. So I'm not saying do not teach or reprimand your children when they've done wrong and so forth, but we still need to love them unconditionally, because kids that are not loved unconditionally, they then fall into, you know, the praise trap, where a child feels that they need to constantly perform and do good and do better for them to be praised, because mama and papa praise me or they are happy with me, when I get good grades. Mama and Papa are happy when my room is clean and so forth. So they are now driven by this praise, or they're driven by power. Power is when we now want to exercise our authority. Remember, I spoke about pulling the mom card from time to time.
Yes.
And you know, when whatever that we are doing, how we are raising children, we are subconsciously teaching them that is how life is supposed to be. So you shall do 1, 2, 3. That is power. And children then know, they grow up with this power that they end up misappropriating because they don't know. They just know that they have this power that they can exercise, you know, over somebody. And yeah, and or other things are your safety. You know, children are just, or even pleasure. Now they want to incline or towards certain things just so they can feel good about themselves. Or safety, they just want to be safe. You know, children that just want to be safe. I'm not going to do anything wrong so that I'm not in trouble. You know, I'm going to do this because at least I know that I'll be safe. But that is not, it's still not, that happens when children are not loved unconditionally. We need to love our children with their mistakes, with, you know, all of those things. And mind you, I'm not undermining things that parents really have to put up with, or teachers at school and coaches and so forth. It's really hectic. But when we teach children that, you know what, even when you've done a mistake, you are still my child and I love you, that goes a very long way, because then a child that is loved knows how to love themselves. They know how to accept themselves. Because remember, children get exposed to bullying and they're not confident at school and whatever, because of how they view themselves. And how they view themselves again is influenced by how are they viewed at home. So it's very important to really fully embrace children. It's easier said than done. It's easier said than done, but it is doable. We can still talk to our children and say, but what you have done was not okay, and this is what you can do in future, without making them feel that we are so disappointed or so angry, because then they take that negative emotion and they process it into something else. And that is why when a child then walks into the school ground, it's as if they have this shame, you know, and remember, what children are is what they attract as well. A confident child will attract confidence. You know, they will just be confident whether another child chooses to bully them, but because they are so secured in themselves, they are so confident, they're not easily intimidated by other children. In fact, they get to understand that you bullying me has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. Yes, you may not, and that is what we say in building my character. There is one where I say, when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you think of yourself? What do you think? Do you think you are pretty? Do you think you are fat? You know, because those are the things that you get told in school. They'll tell you, ah, you fat, ah, you ugly. My son was telling me, the friends are telling, they like saying to him, sure, your mom is so beautiful. What happened to you? and so, but when you and because he has so much confidence, and he knows that he doesn't need to have the physical fitness to be accepted, then he just brushes it off. But to another child, when you say something like that to them, it will be shattering. I mean, imagine saying that to a girl child who believes that being beautiful is everything. And I think also it's important to instill such values in children, Mr. Zwane, that really make them understand what true beauty is and what life is all about. Because, you know, your children may think they have, I mean, your friends may think they have it figured out. Maybe physically, I may not look like I'm the prettiest girl in class, but hey, you know what? I have a beautiful heart. I have a beautiful spirit. I am kind. I am this. And those are the things that we need to teach our children as well, because then they get to understand that it starts within. If inside is not okay, then it doesn't matter how beautiful you are on the outside. You will not be confident. You will feel sad and whatever when other children are teasing you and so forth. But when you understand who you are inside and how good you are inside, then you know you can stand for anything.
Hey, yeah, you've answered me 120%. Hey, I'm very inspired. Oh, you've touched everything, because you know I have a daughter, Unobuhle. As a parent, I really struggled to really teach her to be confident. But what I loved is at the early age, we started to tell one another, I love you too. I love you, I love you too. And even when I drop her at school, she said, Daddy, I love you too. And that has built so much confidence in her. Because every time when she says, no, my friends, some people say I'm ugly, I'm like, said, no, it is them. That's how they feel about themselves. It has nothing to do with you. You just tell yourself that I love myself and I'm a beautiful person. And from there, she started to have this wow confidence. Oh, can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you now. I'm so sorry. It got interrupted and I didn't hear anything that you said. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. What I wanted to summarize what you said is it's about that, as a parent, building that foundation of making sure that your kids are feeling secure within the family before they can go to the outside world. Because if inside the family we are telling them that we love them for who they are beautiful. When they go to the outside world, especially my daughter Unobuhle, since you know we're building this, I love you too, I love you too. She's so confident. Yes. Even if people say you're ugly, you are fat, you are like this, she said, no, it has nothing to do with me, but I know that Daddy, I am beautiful.
Yes, yes.
And I really,
sorry, you can continue.
Oh yes, and you know, sometimes when she's from school, lately, I don't know whether people were bullying her or something like that. But I said, no, if something does something wrong to you, talk to the teacher. But you also, as a person, you have a right to say, you know what, I don't like you the way you treat me. Because now, if you are kind to yourself, you'll be able to treat other people, to teach other people how to treat you. And, and you know, sharing with her that wisdom, she's applying it, because now she's no longer really nagging and complaining, but she said, no, Father, today something like this happened, but I managed to solve it. And I said, okay, wow. Then we are on a good path. And Ms.
You're on a good path.
Yes, yes. And another thing is, as a parent, building character. What I want also to put in our discussion is about purpose and gifts. I know that you and I have got this common thing about purpose. As a parent, from where, let me start with my parents, where they come from. They come from the world of security, getting a job and getting that permanent job and work for a period of 40 years and take retirement, and that's it. But now with us, the new parents, we are trying to change that. Even though it's not that easy, we are trying to check our kids' gifts and the talent so that we can align them according to what is deposited inside of them. Then my question maybe to have other parents out there, how can we as parents support the uniqueness of our children so that we direct and align them to their gifts and talents?
So And you're very right. I think you've already highlighted the first step there without you being aware, because I think
Mm,
the first step is us as friends, the parents of this generation. We are, without even saying it,
mm,
we say it because you're a coach, I'm a motivational speaker, so
mm,
the topic of purpose always comes up.
mm,
But I think parents these days are really so purpose driven that it will be easier for the next generation to automatically follow into the
mm,
footsteps. So
mm,
I think we are really that generation that is bridging that gap,
mm,
from
mm,
our parents that were into job security and so forth, coming to us. It almost caught us a bit, but
mm, mm.
somewhere along the lines,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
actually woke up and coffee and realize that no, 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 no. It doesn't matter how much I have tied myself, it's still not too late to change directions and
Mm,
say, this is not me, and this is me, and this is what I want to do. And I think that already that is the first step. Without us
mm,
even saying anything to our children,
mm,
they are seeing us doing that. So your daughter now sees Papa living his dream, living
mm,
his purpose, doing that which God has called him to do. And already that is telling her and your son as well that it is possible. I don't need
mm,
to be looking at this career and that career just so I can please Mama and Papa. I can actually start thinking that, what is it that I actually like? What am I about? Because that is where purpose begins. And it's so beautiful to start at such a young age, because
mm.
by the time you become older, like I'm saying, some of us we had
Yeah.
to, 10 years down the line,
Redeeming the time, redeeming the time.
redeeming the time. But you still have to soldier on and say it's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah.
But for our children, as young as possible, the moment we realize that he or she is good in this, in 1, 2, 3, you then start, exploiting that, working around that, and finding all the possible resources that can help the child to really, because then it gives them time to really develop that talent,
Mm-hmm.
exhaust it,
Mm,
and they're able to say, and don't even be upset as a parent, because they're able to say 5 years later that, I don't think
mm,
really that was, so it gives them that opportunity to really try and discover themselves. Because Mr. Zwanio, I'm so passionate about purpose.
mm.
How I view purpose is the reason for your existence on earth.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
so that is how I make my children, and people generally to understand purpose, to say, if when somebody asks what is purpose, because I say to them, look at a fruit tree,
Mm,
and if this tree is planted there to bear fruit, and it's providing the nice shade, it's giving you wood for
mm,
for fire and so forth, but
mm,
it doesn't give you fruit,
mm,
then has it really achieved its purpose? Because that is what we do at times. We do all the nice things, and you can even have a nice job,
mm,
a very nice job, a a decent salary, a
mm.
beautiful house, cars, family, and whatever. But is that really, really what God put you on this earth to do?
Yeah.
Because then you are just like that beautiful tree that has
Mm,
produced shade,
mm,
that has given wood for fire,
mm.
but you have not done that which you were brought to this earth to do. So for me, that is that when a child asks me who they are,
Mm,
you are your purpose, you are what you were created for. And
mm,
up until you discover that, up until you you know fully implement that or exploit that, then you will never really fulfill it now, will you? Because you can have
Yes.
the nice, I think material wealth, making money, these days you are learning that making money is not so hard. You can make
Yes.
money, you can
Yes.
achieve your, but achieving your purpose, it's all about it at the end of the day, because I believe that when one day we say goodbye to you, to your beautiful soul, we want to be able to say that, you know what, he lived his purpose.
Yeah.
He lived his purpose. And for me, I think, yeah, things like funerals and that is one, they put it in perspective for you. And so I would usually ask my son, what, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? So he loves soccer. He's very passionate about soccer, but I'm constantly checking even the motives, why he loves soccer. Why do you want to be a soccer star? Is it because you think it's so glamorous, or is it really, really something that you believe that God has put inside of you? So
Wow.
when we have such discussions with them when they're still young, we are helping to redirect them, and really put them on a path that when they're older, it's easier for them, because then they know that I must constantly even question, why do I want to do this? Why do I really believe? Why do I believe that it is what I'm meant to do? Wow, maybe because when I haven't done it, I really don't feel good. And again, I always advise that if it's something that you can do for free without anybody paying you, and you will still go to bed feeling good and fulfilled and feeling like, you know what? Today, even if God came to get me, I will be okay. Then you
Amen.
must know that you live in your purpose.
Amen. Amen. Yes. One of my mentors used to say, you know what? God wants us to help people. It's not about money. As long as you help that individual,
Yes.
God will pay you. It doesn't matter how, but
Yes.
God loves us to make an impact in other people's lives, because we are here for other people, not for our own material things, and we die. Because when we die, we leave all those things behind.
Exactly, that is on. And that's the other thing about purpose, that it is usually, most often, it is linked to other people. It is somehow meant to serve other people, because remember, God is always about his people. And it doesn't matter where it, in what form and whatever, whether you are that soccer star, how is it linking to other people? Because you may be thinking you are this soccer star on TV, and you don't understand the inspiration or the motivation
Yeah.
that you are having for another child out there, that
Yes.
is coming from nowhere, from such a negative background, but you are actually possibly at that particular time giving that child some hope, or inspiring that child without you even saying anything. And sometimes we find purpose in really serving others.
Exactly. Exactly.
I watched this video that this gentleman was saying it's illegal to make money. We don't make money. Money is made somewhere. We just collect money. We collect money. So we we don't chase money. We chase our purpose, and money, we just collect it along the way. But it's
It's true.
about our purpose. It's about our,
Wow, it's true. Hey, I
yeah.
love the subject of people. We'll never finish on that one.
I know.
No, that one is my passion. It's my passion. Yes, another
Yeah.
thing about mindset. Mindset, I think, is another element that is very important to other kids or parents. So now, but when aligning
Mm,
to the kids, I started to read this book about the psychology of a mindset. That as an
yes,
individual, is either you have a fixed
yes,
mindset, or a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the one that says maybe when a child has failed, and then you as a parent, you are saying you are a failure. We make our kids
Yes.
to have the fear of failure. And a growth
Yes.
mindset is saying, okay, my child, you have failed. It's okay. It's okay to fail. Because it means
Yes.
that somewhere
Yes.
you did not understand some things. Then you have to go back and
Yes.
relearn what you
Yes.
did not understand. And I had to experience that with
Yes.
my daughter, Unobuhle. As a parent, when I was teaching her, helping her with her homework, sometimes I'll get so frustrated when she doesn't understand. And I will use the word, you will fail. You will fail. Until one day I read one of the books about failure. It said, you know, every time when we say to your child, you will fail, we're actually damaging the confidence, the self-worth. Actually, we are making a huge hole. And I realized that
Yes.
I realized that every time when I tried to engage with her with another homework, she was so resistant because she said, but I don't want to fail. And I started to open up about my own failure. I said, okay, you know what? Let's talk about this. As a father, I failed so many
Yes.
times. Your mother failed
Yes.
so many times. And here we are still
Yes.
trying other things, and we are still going to fail. And you know, by saying those ways, she
Yes.
started to laugh and open up. Say, actually, Daddy, you failed. Yes, I failed as a father
Yes.
on certain things.
Yes.
So don't view fail as a bad thing. Even other kids, as parents say you're going to fail, it's okay to fail. But then
Yes.
my question in summary, I want to ask is, how can we teach our kids to view failure as a gift, not as an end of the road?
Hmm. That is a very interesting one for me, maybe even a difficult one, because I think I've never really focused on failure because I focus on the positive aspect, because I feel that once you are built up in a positive manner, then it's easy for you to embrace everything that comes with it,
Okay.
including failure. Do
Mm,
you get what I'm saying?
mm,
So, like my son asked me the other time to say, but it was something along those lines of failure, of how he wants this trophy and what if he doesn't get this trophy.
mm,
And I said to him that, Domisha, I'm more concerned about who you are becoming than what you are achieving and accumulating and so forth.
mm,
Because if we can focus on your character and who you are becoming, then everything else just submit, to your character. Because if you are building yourself up so positively, if you are intentional about the person that you are becoming, that even though I'm going to study hard for this test because I want to pass this test, um, but in the process, why do I want to pass so badly? Is
mm,
it for me? Is it for my parents? Is it so that I can be better than other children? For me, I'm interested in that, because then once the motives become pure, even your character becomes so pure that failure is just one of those things.
mm,
So I didn't get the trophy. So what? So what?
mm,
I did my best.
mm,
I went out, I studied so hard for the test, and I was so sure that I was going to make it, but I failed. So what? There's the next time. Next time I will
mm,
do better. So I focus more on that to say, tell yourself, what is it that you want to see manifesting in your life? And
mm.
that is what you speak. That is what you work towards. And because, like I'm saying again, Mr. Zwan, children these days are so smart. They're very
Mm,
smart. And by the way, whether they can fail from time to time at school and so forth, it doesn't take away the emotional intelligence, the intelligence, just, you know, from studying perspective, that these kids are equipped with. So I realized that with my oldest son, I don't even need to focus on him passing, but I need to focus on him getting to understand why is passing so important for him, and why is failing, like you're saying, so dreadful for him. What does failing mean to you? Does it make you feel that you are not good enough? And you know, you dig deeper into those emotions, feelings that go with failure and passing and so forth, and really just focus on building. We focus on building children to just be confident, and confident, to focus on doing their best, that even when the outcome is negative, they know that, I mean, I couldn't have done better than I did, you know, because remember, Mr. Zwane, failure comes from expectations.
Yeah.
You know, failure comes from feeling could have done 1, 2, 3, and so forth. So failure usually goes negatively with regret and so forth. But then, because if you knew there's a test tomorrow and you have to put your effort and comprehend and understand, and you still failed, then you've done your part. You know, there's the next time you can try again. So yeah, so I think really just teaching kids and building up their characters so much that they don't have to, you've already said it, they don't have to view failure in such a negative manner. They can view failure just as an opportunity to try again, you know, and perhaps even an opportunity to discover themselves, you know, to say, you know what, this subject, because remember, it's even in the failure where you actually realize that, okay, because it's English, I'll just have to study it up until I'm done. But you realize then and there, it's sort of also showing you the things that you are passionate about, and that is what I'm learning from my children, that even the subject that he wouldn't do so well in, already I can see how he feels about that subject, and so forth. So you then get to just walk this path with them up until, you know, to a point where, yeah, they're confident. And yes, I don't know how to close on this one, but yeah, I hope I have answered.
You did, Ms. Bagati. And you know, Ms. Bagati, I think at the tertiary level, we need such discussions on failure, because according to the statistics, many students are committing suicide because maybe the family standard is very high. And now when the child starts to fail, they think, oh my God, how am I going to face my parents? And now they decide to take off their own lives. This is part of something that we should venture into, to talk more about building
we should definitely do that. And that is what I'm noticing. Sorry, Mr. Zwan. And that is what I'm noticing even with my son right now. I've noticed that now it's time to change gears, you know? So I'm no longer obsessing about the grades and so forth, because already he's obsessing about the grades. So I need to then bring him to this side to say, yes, the grades, it's about the grades, but there's this aspect as well, you know, your mentality, your wealth, your health. I mean, how okay are you? You stressing about studying for, so that is where, as like you're saying, we need to play a very critical role there. That is one.
Yeah, that's what we really need it. We really need it. Yes, our last question is, what will be then your last wisdom your words of wisdom, enclosure, everything. Leave us with something that will leave us to be thoughtful about it the whole night.
Oh my word! What is my
Last but not at least.
what is my last word? Last but not least, ne? I think one of it I've already said in that one is that if there is a gift that we can give to our children is to just love them unconditionally. I think that as parents, we are this is a serious ministry job and job that we have been given. You know, you can choose to change careers feeling that um you're not on the right path. You can even afford to fail somewhere else, you know. But parenting is such a serious job that you're not going to do perfectly. You need wisdom, you need grace, but I think just taking it seriously and understanding the gift that it is, that you are just a steward upon this person or people's lives. You know, these people tomorrow will go out, and how do you want them to go out as? So when I talk to my son, when I relate to him, and I keep on referring, by the way, I have more kids. Now, you know, I have lots of boys.
Yeah,
But
boys,
I
hey.
think, but I think it's the older ones that are challenging me a bit. But
Yeah.
I always have to think that how do I want my children to remember me? How do I want my children to think of me when they are grown up and they are going about their lives and they have to reflect on their relationship with me, with my husband as their parents? What is it that I want them to take from us? And I think once we start there, because remember that this one, we are grooming stars here. We are grooming future presidents, ambassadors, doctors, pastors, and all of that. And we are busy building a reference for them that they are going to use one day. One day, a person is going to make a decision based on what his father and mother taught him or her. So is that what we are constantly feeding our children, how we are communicating to them, how we are reasoning with them, how we relate to them? Is it something that we will be okay even if we are in the grave someday? When they think about us, will they feel joy when they think about us? Will they think wisdom? And if not, then I, as a parent, it means I have some growing up to do. So I think my parting short is that for us to build kids' characters, we ourselves need to develop our characters as parents. We ourselves need to display and act out those behaviors, those actions that we want to see in our children. Because when your child speaks about you in future, you really want to be comfortable and proud that, wow, I really did an amazing job. Because I look at how I relate with my mother now, and I think back the things that she taught me, how she related to me. It's priceless. It's priceless. It's something that I can never get from anybody. Some kids are privileged to find teacher here and there at school who will groom them and really believe in them and show them the way. Another child will find randomly a coach, at soccer practice or whatever, that believes in them and so forth. But it's in fact our duty as parents to believe in children, to groom them, to tell them that they are enough, to tell them that they are beautiful, to raise them in such a way that indeed, tomorrow when they choose to do things differently, to go a different direction, you as a parent can always feel comfortable and at peace to say, you know what, I have done my part.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And now there's this other question that I'm tempted to ask you and someone to say, how do we help our children to embrace who they are?
Wow. Yes. Oh, that is. It's a very interesting one because children are exposed to so much. You exposed to TV that shows you that for you to be beautiful, you need to be skinny, you need to be of this color, your hair texture must be this different, and so forth. And I think that what I have a clause in building my character one that says exactly that, to say, you know what, God doesn't create useless things. When God creates you, he has a purpose. So for that purpose, he knows that I will need a child of this stature, of this nature, of this race, of this and that. So you are the only person that is meshed to your purpose. And that is why you need to embrace who you are. Because if you try to be somebody else, you will always be number two, hey? Exactly. You will always be number two. Exactly. But when you are yourself, you remain number one. There's a saying that says, be yourself. Because everybody else, just be comfortable. And the other thing is time. Time has taught me that really things do mature and get better with time. There's only so much you can try to teach and show your child now. But up until they reach a certain level of maturity and understanding, they will not get some of the things. So we as parents, we also shouldn't grow weary or discouraged that perhaps we are not doing enough. No, we keep on planting those seeds. Every hour, every second, every minute, every day we're talking to them, we are relating to them. It's a seed. One day, with time, it will fully harvest. There'll come a time where a child who was so confused and felt that they were not good enough really wake up one day embracing who they are. So we just need to be patient with them as well.
Amen. Amen. Yes, I think also just as parents, there's a stage where we should allow them to be who they want to be, but not influencing them too much, but rather guiding them here and there.
That's true.
That's
true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And I think that is. Sorry, Matt.
No. Continue. I don't want to lose that point. Yeah.
No, I was saying, and I think that is why it's important to acknowledge your children and their differences and their different personalities. Whether you have this child who is behaving like this, it's always important to embrace the other one and their personality and their difference, because it is what makes them them. You cannot want them to be like the other child. So that is also quite important.
Thank you. Hi, Phakathi kubo bonke, you are number one.
I'm sure you say that to all of them.
I was once in this family of Phakathi, ne? There was a wedding or somewhere.
Yes.
And they changed this song to say, kubo bonke oThixo, you are the, yeah.
Yes.
The one. And then they changed to say, Phakathi kubo bonke oThixo. Phakathi number one. I was like, wow, that is nice.
Yeah, trust them, eh, to do that. But again, thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Mr. Zoni. I love what you said the other day. You said, "Akira time we done most, na?
Mm.
Are we done?"
Yes, yes, we
Yes,
are
I mean,
done. Yeah. Yeah.
I love what you said the other day to say, you know what, let's grow together. I think for me that was so profound. It was the best thing that anyone could have ever said to me. Like I said earlier, that you always feel like you need to be at a certain point.
Mm.
I should have studied my coaching course and be qualified and certified before I can come and speak to you. But somehow, it's nothing can take away from the experience that you get as you grow in, that particular
Yeah.
thing. So I
Yeah.
truly appreciate this moment. Like I say, it's been a reflecting, it's been a reflecting moment even for me, and to really realize the treasure that is in building my character
Mm.
concept so much that I'm meeting with my publisher tomorrow to rework the books and whatever. So
Mm.
you've even helped me to sort of think about the concept and how I really want to drive it out there. So I'm truly grateful, Baba. I'm truly grateful.
I see
Yes.
There's a book that maybe you can download on YouTube somewhere of John Maxwell. He says Failing Forward.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that book, Failing Forward.
Failing forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good book.
It sounds beautiful, hey?
Yeah, yeah,
I will
yeah.
definitely do that. I will definitely look
Yes.
it up.
Yeah, I know it's a good
Yes.
audio book. You love it. You
Thank you
love it.
so much.
Yes. And then where can people
I
find
will
you?
definitely look out for it.
Okay. Yeah. The last words,
So people can
yes, where can people find you? Because it's another thing that people maybe would like to invite you for speaking engagements and some other things.
people can find me on Facebook, Cleopatra Pagati on Facebook, and on Instagram it's Cleopatra Pagati underscore SA, and on my cell phone 082 388 4554. Don't forget redeeming the time book, because we
Yes.
have to redeem the time.
The tag. Yes. And how's the Facebook going? That one, building the character. Can people find it on Amazon or somewhere?
No, it was at this P&A bookshops. Honestly, that one, they'll have to contact me for a copy on the same
Oh.
number, 082, yeah, 082 388 4554, because
Mm.
I think my contract with my distributor has lapsed. So
Okay.
it's not in any bookshop right now yet. Yes.
Oh. Oh, but people can order it straight from you if people want it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
No, Miss Pagasi, let me love you and release you, and I thank you for showing up. Thank you on a Sunday
Thank
afternoon like
you.
this. With you are supposed to spend family time, but you did reserve me some at
With the
least one
kids.
hour to connect with you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Ntatezane. I truly appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings to your family. Greetings to the missus and the kids.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Same to you, the lovely boys. You have a lot of work to do with the boys. They are the kings of tomorrow.
I do. Thank you so much, Ntatezane.
Okay, ciao, ciao.
Okay, then. Bye.
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 Yes, Vasibenkosini Zwileko Wisdom Revelations. We had a very interesting discussion on building our children's character We have to love them. We have to teach them certain traits, character traits, generosity, empathy, kindness, love. And we have to teach them to embrace for who they are and align them with their gifts and the talents, because now things have changed. People now have to live according to their life purpose. There's no longer security jobs, but there is security in finding your purpose and maximizing on your gifts and your talents. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, Bongani Zwane Wisdom Revelations, and press a like button so that other people could really find this video and to learn more about the wisdom and the revelations of this channel. I thank you all for watching. God bless you. Remember, purpose breeds success. I thank you. Bye-bye.